As soon as I go live, I see this comment. Big up to you, man. Shout out to ATS Travels. Shout out to you for tuning in. Um, Happy Wednesday. Here we are. We'll start the show off uh with with a joke. And the joke goes something like this. Luke Shaw. Football Power Hour. Big up to you if you're just joining in. I say Luke Shaw because I'm just looking at a post here from, United Plug. It's from a few days ago. It's just saying like, Luke Shaw has returned on grass training this week. Recent weeks, he has been focused on rehabilitation work, and he's now in a much better condition. And I was just like, what a joke. Anyway, today's show is not about Luke Shaw. It's about Tyler Dibling. Tyler Dibling, somebody I vaguely know as a player, plays for Southampton, but we're going to find out about him. I'm going to learn about him. And big up to you for joining in the journey. Shout out to Javid in the building. Shout out to Yale in the house. Yale says always eating his chicken first. Actually, this morning I haven't had chicken yet, but it's the week for salmon, Yale. It's I don't know, for some reason I've been feeling like seafood vibes this week. That's where I'm at. I don't know. Shout out to Javid in the building, says go boss on a puppy. Shout out to you. And Yale says, oh, don't be sure about Onana's statement because it's a major chance that he will indeed go to Saudi Arabia. I saw his statement, but a few minutes later he was off to Saudi Arabia again. Okay, we might as well start with Onana. All right. Onana, I can hear what you're saying, Yale, and say this is also the update from what's his name? The guy who works for ESPN, Rob Dawson, I believe. And he said, where is this update, by the way? Onana, Rob Dawson. I just saw it at basically he said Onana is currently not planning on going to Saudi Arabia. Even if an offer is put on the table, he will only consider leaving if he's told that he's surplus to requirements. And until Onana is told that, he's going to consider himself the number one at Manchester United. That's pretty much what that I can't remember, maybe it might have been an article, it might have been a tweet, but that's what Rob Dawson said. And makes me wonder, like, is this guy really actually gonna ever turn it around? Because he seems like we're stuck with him. It seems like he's not gonna go anywhere. And it also seems like nobody is gonna come in and be like, you know what, we need to fix this team. Yale, let's go get Andre Onana. Imagine, how do you convince people in your team that you need Andre Onana? It's a madness. Kenny says, Nana needs to go, blood, but yes, who is going to be coming for him? For a transaction to happen, there has to be a buyer, Kenny. And I'm sad to be the bearer of bad news right now and say that, at least from the Rob Dawson's take or update, is that like he is not going to go anywhere until he's told that you are surplus to requirements. I'm cheating on you by also listening to the Muppet dude. It's bigger chance he's leaving than staying. There's talk about Lemon's incoming. Okay, all right, fair enough, Yale. We'll see. We'll see. I know as we're heading into the summer, it's like around the corner. We'll be having so many of these like transfer discussions, and situations change, things will evolve. But we've talked about the fact that like there are other areas that we need to prioritize in terms of rebuilding Manchester United right now, and goalkeeper is not top two priority, but it is still a priority. And I agree with you in that regard. We need to be moving on from Onana, like Kenny was saying. So that is the situation on Andre Onana. But I want to share the link and let's talk about Tyler Dibling. For people that know about Tyler Dibling, this is an open discussion. Please hit the link. Let's talk. Let's chat. So, what do we know about Mr. Dibling? So I can tell you that when we played Southampton, he was one of the bright sparks. Um, and also, he's just a young talent that everybody seems to be talking about. There seems to be like a lot of clubs that are circling Tyler Dibling because he's considered a hot young prospect in or one of the best youngsters in English football, up and coming youngsters in English football right now. So there is interest from even Man City are looking at that situation. There's also other clubs as well, other bigger clubs like Dortmund are also looking at Tyler Dibling. So it feels like it'll be a little bit dumb to not consider Tyler Dibling. But there's a caveat to the story because Southampton say they want 100 million. Let me say that so you hear it properly. Southampton Football Club, the Saints, they say they want 100 million. Now, if you just go on Google, okay, let me just show you. We just go to google.com and just look this up really quickly. There we go. Boom. So Southampton was bought. How much was Southampton bought for? 100 million.
And this is totally crap.
Now, I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but Southampton was acquired for 100 mil. And these guys say they want to sell Tyler Dibling for 100 mil. What? Doctor is like, for now, I'm not talking Tyler the creator. I'm not talking Tyler from South Africa. They make me swear. No. We're talking Tyler Dibling. Does this deal make sense? Does this demand make sense? Like, what? Let me ask Doctor.
Hi, how are you?
Pick up yourself.
For Tyler Dibling, 100 million. Are they mad? Are they mad? No, literally, are they crazy?
Like,
what weed are they smoking? No, number one, where did they get it? Because it's illegal in the UK. Really? It's like when Everton said, "Oh, we want 80 million for Bradley." Come on, let us be real. Let us be realistic. The most I would give Tyler Dibling. How much did we pay for Heaven? 1 million, maybe 2 million, 3.
No.
They are going back to Championship, so they better take what they can. You know?
Yeah.
They better take what they can.
This is crazy because, like, clearly, I feel like it's their way of saying, listen, if you're broke, don't shop over here, you know. But 100 mil is literally like, so Ganacho in that instance is what,
200
200.
mil? Yeah.
Exactly. 250. Like,
Even
what?
Hoyland. Oh, shout out to Prasanth K. Your dedication to
Oh,
writing the same comment over and over again.
shout
I
out to
love
you,
it.
man.
But I love his dedication. Uh,
So yeah,
let's get back to Tyler Dibling.
there's gonna be a
No, I
bidding
get
war.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
bidding war, but let's be sensible about the bidding war. I mean, if you start at 10, 5, 10,
Mm,
we can understand.
mhm.
Maybe 20, but that will be overpriced. He's what, 18?
Yeah. He's no 19.
Heaven Heaven is about 18 too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
17, 18.
The same
He
age.
cost, I know Heaven is a different, like, it's different positions and everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
still. But still, like, you're playing for Southampton. Your youth, where you come from as a youth academy person, also tends to like put you where we'll price you. And
Mm,
so for Arsenal selling Heaven for 1 million,
mm.
you're playing for Southampton.
Yes.
Like, let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
1 million is even too much, and I'm
Could we
being
be overreacting? Let's look at this and see what he actually has done. Like,
okay.
I
Yeah,
know he's a
you
young
know
lad.
what? You're right.
Tw-
How many games? Where did he?
25.
What was his academy? Where did he do his academy?
Okay, let's start from his academy. What is this? Academy.
Wow.
There you go. Profile. Okay, so man, what the hell? Okay, so
Ads.
he started Southampton Academy. Then he went to Southampton under 18. Then
Yeah.
he went to Chelsea under 18, and then
Mm-hmm.
came back to
Went back to
Southampton.
Southampton. It's not
Now made it to the first team.
so total transfer fee. It says 1.7, right?
Yes. And
So
then you see there's a question mark. Chelsea with that shadiness of businesses.
yeah,
What?
obviously
They didn't report this.
Sosa Heaven was on the bench for Arsenal though. When they played against us in
Yeah.
November or December, Heaven was on the bench for us.
Mhm.
So that's why that that's why like I say, and even then, from what I believe, like I won't lie, Arsenal. Okay, from what little I've seen, Arsenal
Mhm.
do have great players in their academy. Even though we've taken a few of them, they still have a few that you have to be like in the next 5-10 years, if it goes well, they will be the names that we will be talking about in the Prem. But
Mhm.
and like almost every other football fan I believe has heard of Max Donovan, right?
Yeah.
You hear names, and there's other names being talked about in Chelsea. There's other names being talked about. Hell, even Villa Academy. You hear things,
Mhm. Mhm.
but you fine. They're hidden gems, but like, let's be realistic. I need Southampton board to be realistic with what they're saying.
Yeah.
How is somebody
Look
you
at his versatility, doctor. Look at his how like how many positions he plays. He's actually, it's kind of impressive when you look at it. By the way,
who
uh,
Tyler?
yeah. I'm about to show
Yeah,
the.
okay.
But also I want to
But
say, guys, hit the like button if you're just joining the stream. By the way, if you're just opening into the show, and I want to also welcome and say, have no fear, because men like Bali Tech is here. Come on. What's up,
Big
bro?
up to everyone in the chat.
I
Big up, broski. Tyler Dibling, bro. Who's who we're talking about right now? And look,
um
Southampton have said 100 mil. Don't.
100 mil
Yes,
for who?
for Tyler
Tyler
Dibling, and Southampton themselves were acquired for 100 mil as a club.
Right. Well, Ineos are doing things a little bit differently, so I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, in fact, personally, I don't think any team is going to buy him for that type of finance. Personally, I don't think so. In fact, yeah, that will be the first relegated team in history to receive 100 mil for a player. That is unprecedented. It's not going to happen.
Oh, Southampton are a selling club, you know, that the low key people think Brighton is the selling, but Southampton been the selling club, the OG selling club, like Van Dijk for 84 mil, Lavia.
But where were they? Where were they when this happened? They were in the Premier League and they were comfortably a Premier League team when they were selling these players. But when you get relegated, you need money. In fact, you need to sell off your squad because all your squad are there. They will have it in their contracts. A lot of your squad will be there on the basis that they're Premier League players. Yeah, and then there's all types of match revenue and everything else that you lose when you get relegated to the Championship.
Yeah,
I live not too far away from Charlton, not too far away from there. And I remember, right, when Charlton was in the Premier League, it used to piss me off because the traffic was ridiculous. When Charlton came to the Prem, the traffic was crazy. But nowadays, Charlton are playing. You don't even know until you hear the stadium going wild. You don't really know that a game is on. Yeah, it's because the interest in the club has gone downhill. It would be the same thing with Southampton. As soon as they enter the Championship like this, the local fans won't care as much. Or the fans that travel far, they're only coming to see you play against Man United and Chelsea and teams like that. They're not trying to these randoms in the Championship. They're not trying to go to these grounds. You understand? They're gonna need that money. Yeah, they're gonna need that money on their relegation. Yeah, because they need to bounce back.
So
if they don't bounce,
they need to sell. We're establishing that. But in your opinion, what is the proper valuation for Tyler Dibling?
To me, Tyler Dibling isn't worth a penny over 40 million. For me, he's a 35 million player, between 30 to 35, but he isn't worth a penny over 40 million. I'm saying 40 million is on the high end. Yeah, because to be honest, we're just buying his potential. He's a young, exciting winger. He's very tricky. He can go past people. He's quite strong in his build. He can carry the ball for long distances, but he doesn't really score goals and he doesn't really get that many assists. So in my humble opinion, to pay 100 million for a guy who doesn't have the output is nasty work. Because if he's 100 million pounds, how much is Yamal? Because I believe that if you go and slap 100 million pounds, not euros, pounds, on Barcelona, they would accept that money in a heartbeat. It's whether or not Yamal would want to go is a different story. Yeah, 100 million pounds is big money.
Put a billion valuation on bro.
Lamine Yamal costs more than 40 though. It goes closer
they put those valuations, put those, but they're always willing to negotiate. If you drop 100 mil, they'll take it. Like, this is a club in debt, you know. This is a club that's wheeling and dealing to get players, pulling levers. Are you telling me they're not gonna take 100 million pounds? There's no way. There's no way. They have to pull levers before a player can sign a new contract. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're not. They'll sell other people. But Lamine Yamal, though.
But that 100 million pounds, is pure profit.
It is. It's pure profit, and but I can
guarantee if Man United, if somebody came in, and wanted to give us 100 million pounds for let's say Garnacho, yeah, somebody who came out of the academy.
Yeah.
Who are we to say, nah, we don't want 100 million pure profit. We want to stay in debt. We want to not have a good transfer budget. Like, who are we for all of this? Yeah.
Let me actually, this is a perfect person to introduce to this conversation, by the way. Big up to you if you're just joining. Don't forget to hit the like button because my man, like Wajid, is in the building.
Well, Senior, how we doing, my friend? Are we good?
We're good, man. We're good. Tyler Dibling,
Right.
bro. That's who
No,
we are.
I'm not here for the Tyler Libby. I'm just here for the Yamal stuff. What? What did I hear?
Bali Tech is saying 100 mil. If you 100 mil pounds, offer it to Barcelona, they'll let Lamine Yamal go.
He has a 500 million pound release clause.
There we
Wait,
go.
what?
There we go.
He has.
Thank you.
He has a 500 million pound release clause from his last contract.
Mhm. I was trying to tell Bali Tech this, that like it's ridiculous how much they value him. They will not let him.
And you're not going to get rid of the best young player in the world for nothing, like for any level of money.
I don't agree. If a club came in with the right money, they would sell.
He has a
This is
500 million
Barcelona.
pound release clause. He has a 500 million pound release clause.
Yeah. Barcelona. You think these big release clauses are standard in Spain? If you go and check all these Spanish players, they have ridiculous release clauses. None of these players are going to go for the release clauses that they have.
Neymar literally went for his release clause. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but at the time, Barcelona were financially in a very fantastic place. Unlike now. Now they're pulling levers, broski. They're pulling levers.
But
yeah,
but Neymar. No, your point was they're not selling release clauses. The only reason PSG got Neymar was because they triggered the release clause.
Yeah, but at that time, Barcelona financially were healthy. Today, they're not healthy. So it's a completely different scenario. Their creditors are not going to look at 100 million pure profit and say, "Well, what are you doing, bro?"
You are talking like selling.
They'd rather sell somebody else. Like they're not.
I could even argue. I can even go as far as arguing, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with the 100 million valuation that I've slapped on him, yeah. They might argue for more, but they would sell. That's my point. They would sell. If you come with the right money, they would sell. But that 500 million, $500 million release clause is unrealistic. No one's going to pay that. But they would sell for 100 plus million.
No, they wouldn't. At all.
I believe that. When you're in debt, debt will make you do different things. That will make Barcelona do something strange for some change.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be real.
They'll get rid of the big contracts like De Jong making 600 grand a week and stuff like that long before they get rid of Yamal. Oh, right, sorry, 1.8 billion. I thought it was 500 million. My apologies.
Yeah, I said billion earlier on, and I'm pretty sure I was like,
you man are looking at these release clauses thinking they mean something. Do you know the amount of players that have left Spanish clubs? Way less than their release clause.
Bro, he is the best young player on the planet, and arguably a Ballon d'Or nominee this year. Do you hear what you're saying?
Can we find out how much debt Barcelona are in? Because we talk about not having no money.
But I apologize. I know you're here for Tyler Dibling. I just had to call it because this is just wild.
Wait, what have I stepped into?
Why is it wild?
What have I stepped into?
Why is it wild?
Wait,
yeah, are Barcelona in any more than we are?
Wait. What's the conversation going on here? Because
I'm talking about if somebody wanted to buy Yamal, yeah, and they slapped 100 million plus onwards. He's saying that they wouldn't sell no matter what.
You didn't know. Firstly, you said 100 million, and secondly, right,
Yeah.
they're not selling Yamal when they have a £1 billion release clause.
But Barcelona are now a selling club, though. They're not like we're not selling players.
Big man, no, they're not.
Understand? Them selling him for 100 mil was backwards. He probably sells more on shirts.
Yeah. And Ansu Fati first, like they'd rather let go of Rafinha.
Plus, he plays for Spain
but
now.
nobody wants to buy him because he's injury prone and he's on mad wages.
Who?
Ansu Fati. He's talking
don't
about
play
letting
it.
him
He
go,
don't
but
play
he's
it.
on
No
mad.
one's buying 'cause
He's
he
on
don't
like
play.
200 and he's on like 230,000 a week or something like that.
Bro, when Belieber went to Brighton, Ansu Fati came with him, and he was all the rage. You never saw that guy play for Brighton anyway. If he can't get into Brighton, he's finished. I'm sorry to tell you that Brighton is the
No,
best
but it's
place for a young
his
player to
wages.
get.
Check his wages. Check his wages. Yeah, you're not gonna sell him because his wages are nuts.
Whose wages?
Ansu Fati.
Ansu
You're
Fati.
not gonna.
Brother, the entire Barcelona wage structure is a mess. That's why they're in the problems they're in.
Ain't De Jong on like nearly like what's he on?
He's on like
He's not being
500. He's on like 500 grand a week because his last 2 years haven't been paid the way he needs to be paid. That's the reason why he never left Barca. Is because Barca said we're not going to pay you. Yeah,
they don't pay him. Isn't that what they said? If he's gonna go,
yeah,
Man United,
exactly.
they don't owe him.
Yeah,
He said, "Nah, fuck that."
Yeah,
I rate it though.
there it is. His weekly salary, Ansu Fati, it's around 268K.
but out of curiosity, check what Yamal's salary is, please.
My God, he's robbing the bank there.
Wow.
35K. Yeah, they're doing. Wait, what is earns around 35K
Wow.
a week? Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
That's what you're supposed to do when you're. That's what you're supposed to do.
He's 17. Like people need to chill.
Like, what are you gonna give him 200K for when he outs for his next contract?
Okay, so wait. So let's have this conversation now. Yeah. So I don't know. A top club comes in, Bayern Munich. Yeah, they come in. They say we want Yamal. Yeah, they say we want Yamal. We're willing to pay up to 150K.
Not happening.
I mean 150 mil. Sorry.
Not happening.
It doesn't matter whether it's happening.
It's
or
not
not.
happening.
Yeah, I'm just
clearly.
Hold on. Just relax. You man, relax. Stop. Relax. All right. So they're willing to pay 150 mil. They've already spoken to his agent. They've told his agent that they're willing to give him 300K a week. Yeah, cool. He's got a nice long contract. The Barcelona see this. They say, "Oh, this is bullshit. We don't want this." Then Yamal and his agents, they're sitting there like, "Bro, they're trying to pay us like 300K."
And then you tell him that you have a 1.1 billion release clause, and everything goes.
Thanks, Enan. That's literally what I was about to say.
Yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Footballers, yeah, you're not gonna lickle man every single footballer, bro. Yeah?
Valitech, your entire story doesn't make absolutely no sense whatsoever, because Barca can say no because he has a 1.1 billion pound release clause, and they can go, big man, the only time we're having a conversation with you, or the only time we're letting you go, is if you guys pay the release clause. So this entire story you paid about the agent and the club doesn't mean anything because he's not going anywhere.
The only way he
goes somewhere, you know what it is, yeah?
Or his release clause is met. That's about it.
All right, well, you guys can believe what you believe, and I'll believe what I believe, and then we'll just move on, isn't it? That's the best way to go.
What do you mean to believe? That's literally how football works. That is literally how football contracts work.
Okay. I can't do the back and forth arguing around merry-go-round. We can't do this, bro.
But brother, because you're waffling. You're waffling though.
Okay.
I don't understand your point. So your point is what?
My point is that Barcelona are in debt, and they would accept big money for a player. That's my point.
Debt since when? Since like Coutinho or something?
since
they
they had to
they'll
sell Messi because
they've sold their stadium rights to Spotify and they're building a new stadium. That's
Yeah.
why they're playing in whatever shithole they're playing in right now.
Okay.
Bro, they're good. Even though they're in debt.
You know what,
they're
guys?
good.
I've been
Okay, they're good then. They're good then.
say something.
Ron, by the way.
They're good then. They're good then.
Big up everyone.
They're good.
Every time the homeboy wants to reach a point, I got a call. Sorry, bots. That's why I keep coming in and out. Like I have to.
It's
kill
all
it.
good.
But Barcelona, just to put my 2 cents from the beats that I've got while I was jumping in and out, I don't think Barcelona, even if they're in financial problems, they can accept anything less than maybe right now. For Lamine, bro, like, isn't it Vinicius has got like $1 billion release clause, and that's Vinicius.
No, even Lamine has $1 billion release clause.
You know exactly.
What I've
So,
said is
no
that
top
Spanish
team, I think,
players,
at the moment
Spanish
that can afford
players,
that kid.
Spanish players that play in the Spanish team have crazy release clause. Even Ansu Fati had a crazy release clause. They all do.
He has a $1 billion
Yes, because they have. Because in Spain you have to have a release clause.
It's because no
A
team
release
wants
clause
to
is mandatory
repeat,
in Spain.
because
You can't
it's
give a
because
contract
they don't
without a
want
release
to
clause.
repeat the fate of Neymar, because they got Neymar on a cheap. That release clause of 200 was cheap. They should have locked him on more money. No one wants to go through that again. That's why they're putting ridiculous prices like $1 billion, so that when you come to negotiate, they can even sell it to you for like 500 or something like that.
No, Kanye, that's not even the rule. That's not even the real reason. The real reason is that in Spain you have to have a release clause in your contract. That's why they put $1 billion. They don't have any intention.
Oh yeah,
of selling
that
it.
as well. Yeah, that as well. Anyway, but when you look
I
at the way
think you
Neymar
both are
left at
right
2,
with what you're
yeah.
saying, because
Yeah.
what Kanye is saying is that they learned from the Neymar experience, and what I don't know who was speaking. I think NN, but whoever said that they are obliged to have that, I think you both are correct.
Yeah. I never said that Kanye was wrong. I said that the main reason that
But you
they
were
have
adding on to
the
it.
release
Okay, fair.
contract so high in the first place is that they have to have them. So them having it there is not that they want to sell him. Is that in Spain you have to have a release clause.
You see in England,
sorry,
right?
bro. So to marry what we are saying, since we're all saying the same thing, is that if the law says you must have, that doesn't mean they can put ridiculous amounts like $1 billion. They're doing that as well at the same time to not repeat, to sell off a player who has a potential so high that they could have gained more money from it. So to be careful so that they don't, like when you look at PSG buying Neymar off 200 mil, that was like what he brought to the club financially surpasses that. And Barcelona could have demanded more from him. And I'm talking the Neymar, Barcelona, Suarez, Messi, Neymar. So no one wants to repeat that.
So anyway, so let's bring it back.
Why are we talking about Barcelona
Dibling
and all these release clauses though?
Yeah, let's bring it back to Dibling. The Southampton has sold.
Wait, but sorry, before you go on Dibling,
yeah,
what's happened with Onana that he's not leaving apparently?
Man, we said it already at the beginning of the show. It's like a report from Rob Dawson saying that like he's only going to leave if he's told that he's surplus to requirements, but he's not going to consider any Saudi.
That sounds exactly like the guy I know, exactly like him. Anyway, continue, man.
So that's the Onana update. But Tyler Dibling apparently, like Southampton, like know that they're going down and they have to sell, and the valuation that they slept on Dibling is 100 mil, and it's like, is it one of those things where it's like trying to scare people away or what? Because is this valuation justified? That's the question.
Well, they kind of understand if they're going down the Premier League tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Then anyone could come in and get their guy for cheaper price than what they would have, let him go off if they stayed in the Premier League. So they just slapped up a big ass price. No one's gonna meet that. I don't see it as
they're just inviting, just to add to what Ron is saying, is that they're just inviting players to the table. We're selling. That's the price. That's how you start. You don't change yourself when you're starting these negotiations. Look at what happened to Brentworth. They overvalued him. We said, okay. And what happened? He's price that we're asking. They even regret it. Sorry. Go on.
Where does he play though? I'm sorry. Where does he play? Dibling?
Southampton.
Southampton.
You mean on the pitch?
No. The position.
Right wing.
Yeah,
right wing.
pitch.
Right wing and right mid.
right wing. He can play center forward, second striker, one game there.
Don't be surprised if Chelsea get involved.
You know, he's midfield and right wing. It seems
Chelsea gets involved with everything.
Can he play? Can he?
He's
is
a
he
former
defensively
Chelsea
good?
player.
He's a former Chelsea product though, so he's got links to Chelsea.
So,
Why are we even linked with
yeah.
a player? We've got, I think, why don't we
Wait, we are linked to
concentrate
him.
on getting a 10? The 10s. If
You
we're
have a
going to
10.
play the 10s, it seems
Wait,
more
we-
like a winger, Ahmad's spot.
Canny is
and
because
we don't play with traditional
Yeah,
wingers
why are we
anymore.
concentrating on it? We should concentrate on getting
no,
10s.
Canny is because Ruben Amorim has history of converting wingers into tens, like Trincao, Quenda and stuff like that. So that's why United are linked
That's
to.
not correct. Wingers
But
into
we
wing-backs.
were
He never played.
connected
I don't
to
think he played
Dibling.
Quenda the 10.
We were linked to Dibling like under Eric Ten Hag early
No.
Spurs season, I believe.
And then my point was like a winger type like Quenda who becomes a 10. That was my point, not Quenda played the 10.
Yeah,
Now,
sorry.
Quenda played the 10, but he played the 10 after the manager was sacked. I mean, after the manager left for Man United.
He played wing-back after for Amorim. That's why he didn't want to play for him again.
I've been watching a lot of sporting games since the manager left to come to United, and he's played as a wing back, he's played as a 10, he's played as a left winger, he's playing all over the shop at Sporting right now. He hasn't got a lockdown position.
Balotelli, are people telling me where we kind of like looking at a player who's, his heart is at Chelsea, and then we're also the club who's owned by a Chelsea owner. So like, what are we doing? Where's United headed, bro? Like, what the fuck's going on?
What are you talking about? Owned by Chelsea?
No, he plays for Southampton though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
he
he
plays for Southampton.
who likes Chelsea.
But
people are telling me he likes Chelsea in the chat.
No, he was a Chelsea.
He was a Chelsea player.
He was a Chelsea product.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure he prefers Chelsea, like how Jadon Sancho.
I don't necessarily believe that he prefers Chelsea. It's just the opportunity that he got at the time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, do you know how many clubs are in for this guy? They had, at the last international game that he played, they had 17 scouts watching this guy play from the Premier League.
Wait, what level was he playing at? Under 21s?
Yeah, he was playing. Was he playing in the under 21s? I think he was playing in the under 21s. Yeah.
You mean for Chelsea?
No,
for England. Was it England? Either it was one of the younger age categories. I don't quote me on whether it was the under 21s. I don't think it was. It might have been a younger one. I'm not sure. But from what I have heard, that they had 17 scouts at that game. To me, that's pretty much every Premier League team went to watch him.
That's excessive. 17.
That's the entire Premier League table except the bottom three. So
wait, before we continue with this conversation, what contract is he actually on right now?
Let's see his current wage.
Because when Aston Villa went down, everyone was on to Jack Grealish and said that he was going to leave, but he never left.
Well, I mean, so I wanted to add that because of parachute payments, Southampton aren't in any pressure or position to sell. That's the whole reason why we only have the 7 clubs that go up and down every single year, because the parachute payments like cover everything and makes the club stronger.
Not necessarily, because all the revenue that they're going to lose by not being in the Prem is going to be a lot.
It's not. It's covered by the parachute payments for 5 years.
You think that really covers clubs when they leave?
Yes, it does. That's the whole point of parachute payments.
That's why Luton's fuck up this year.
But the thing is, you don't know what type of expensive they've already incurred on getting themselves into the Premier League. So yeah, it might cover for some things, but it's not going to account for having a full stadium week in, week out. It's not going to account for that because they ain't going to have no full stadium week in, week out.
Fuck a full stadium. They get the TV rights when they're in here.
So the amount of salary
and the TV rights.
So the amount of salary,
that's covered by the parachute payments as well.
That's covered by the parachute payments.
So, bots, the salary Dibling is earning is equivalent to the amount of fines our players have to pay for being kind of late at training.
Exactly. Peanuts.
Yeah, but how many years is he on?
Like his contract expiry date.
Yeah, his expiry date.
His contract, not his.
It expires 2026, summer of 2026
next year.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah,
If they
so
have
they'll,
no,
yeah.
if they have no add-ons,
If
if
not
they have
now,
no
then
add-ons, they'll probably
January.
The
No?
club has an option to extend for an extra year, but
I see. Then I don't think they'll
sell.
sell.
Then they're not going to sell. They're going to extend.
yeah.
I think they're gonna
That's also
extend,
why
but then
this
they're gonna
that
extend,
that's also
but
why they're
they'll
slapping
accept the
100
biggest
million on him
bag.
because there's
But
2 years there.
but watch it, they
And they'll
can
probably
go
come back up
ahead.
anyway.
Watch it, they can go ahead and extend his contract, but then accept the biggest bag that comes for him.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna extend. There must be a reason. There
It's a
must
club
be.
option. Balitech, it's a club option.
Oh, it's an
And-
option to extend.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, why are we
Okay.
forgetting? Like Southampton is a selling club. They do sell their biggest asset. So if this is the guy who's the biggest asset, why would they want to keep an asset around for one more year?
Right.
Because imagine if they come back up and they get him to extend and they stay in the Premier League, then his value is probably
Yes,
going to
but
be
that's
more
a
than.
lot of.
But it's
imagine
whether
if-
he wants that though. He might not want
So,
that.
okay, one second, Balitek. So, Enan, what you're saying, that does make a lot of sense, right? Because you're saying, imagine if they come back up next season, his evaluation then bumps up to like 150, the club can make more money,
Mhm.
which you're right? When was the last time Southampton was in the Prem? Like before they came up last season? Because I think it's been time. They haven't been in the Prem for time. They got this opportunity and now they've gone back.
I don't know the specific answer to that question, but I know it's not going to be too long. But then again, to return to that point or to answer that point, who was relegated last year? What were the 3 teams relegated last year?
Leicester was relegated, I believe.
I'm just checking now.
Luton Town.
Luton Town is one
So
of
it
them.
was Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
go and check where Burnley and Sheffield United are now. Sheffield are second.
I think
and
Burnley
are
Burnley
third.
is second. I
Burnley
think.
are third. Burnley
Yeah.
are third. Sheffield are second.
So can I quickly talk
Yeah.
about when the last time Southampton was in the Prem? So I googled. They came up in 2012. I believe they stayed in the Premier League from 2012 to the season of 22-23. Then they went down in 22-23.
And they came straight.
So they spent
And they came
22
straight back up.
Yeah, they came straight back up, and they're going
Yeah,
back down.
yeah,
So they're most
Burnley-
likely going to come straight back up again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so what
And
Enan-
Burnley and
what
Sheffield
Enan
United
is
in the
saying-
same position.
Yeah.
Sheffield United second, Burnley a third.
So, Enan, what
And
you're
Leeds
saying makes a lot of
first,
sense now
right?
that there is a high possibility of them coming back up, so his stock's going to rise again. Yeah, there's a lot of sense in there.
Yeah.
It just
And-
depends if Southampton won the
If they can
short-term
add the extra year and then with Premier League promotion get him to sign for at least 2 more years with a guarantee to him that they're going to sell him at the first opportunity that they get.
Yeah.
But then, Enan, if someone puts like 100 mil this summer,
100
think
mil
he's
this summer,
gone.
they might sell. But 100 mil is excessive for one season. That's the whole point.
Yeah, and
It
like
is. It feels like one of those like for me,
it feels like a United thing to do.
yeah. Yeah. If they were in conversation with United, so then they're like saying 100 mil.
United might end up putting down an 80 mil bid for him, and they might accept it. But if they reject it and he comes back in
Do we
let's say a
really need
year's
him?
time,
I don't think
That
we need
80 mil is
him.
not happening.
They sold Van
bro,
Dijk
you spent
for
72 mil on
84,
Hoyland.
right?
80 mil could happen.
Didn't they sell Van
Not
Dijk
from Man United. That's what I mean. 80 mil is not happening from Man United at all.
yeah, but
What are you saying,
it was 72 to 75. He was the most expensive defender, I think, till we signed Maguire in the summer.
Yep. And then Ed Woodward wanted the biggest wood, so he signed Maguire for more money. He wanted to sign either Maguire or Koulibaly.
Yeah, because I think Van Dijk came in the winter and we then went and got Maguire in the summer, if my maths is correct.
Yeah.
Or I might
Yeah.
be slightly off.
I think we shouldn't buy from them. They sold us Luke Shaw, these Southampton team. Like, I'm not getting good vibes from Southampton. Sporting is the team we should do business with.
No, you're making the exact same mistake as you did on the
Yeah.
Ten Hag.
But don't yeah.
Oh, really?
All of you guys said that you wouldn't do the exact same thing you did under Ten Hag, and you're doing them right now. Buying exclusively from
Sporting has
Sporting.
been
I personally I don't agree. Yeah. because at the end of the day, yeah, multiple managers over the years have bought players from their previous club. I remember Jose Mourinho when he came and he came with Ferrara, Carvalho. Like this is what managers do. Yeah, they bring their best men and they bring them to the team that they're going to. It's a normal thing.
But
Just
you're not
because
bringing your best men, because the best man there is Victor Gyokeres.
okay, but what is Trincao or let's say Pedro Gonçalves or Diamonde? Are they not all a part of the best men? Or he wanted to get Quenda, but obviously he's gone to Chelsea. These are part of his best men. So if any of them are available,
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't mind if he
you
goes and
use
gets
Jose
them.
Mourinho as an example. Carvalho is like the Gyokeres of that for his team. He's like the top of the top, the best player there. If you're gonna go after someone from your old team, get the best player first.
Yeah, but if you can't get them, then you get the next person.
But also the best players aren't necessarily the right players for where you are. Mentality. You can have your best player, you utilize him well, but you know he has attitude. You manage him differently.
But you
So
need a
if you're
striker.
so you need your soldiers. Like Mourinho had people that were dying for that manager. I've seen people come and say a lot bad about Mourinho, but look at the troops that he used to galvanize.
Yeah.
People that go in the pitch, they know they don't want to disappoint the manager. Like this one, I have his word.
Yeah. No, that is true. And Ten Hag decided to go with Anthony. But anyway, that's another conversation. But I think like for me, if or what I'm saying, the summary of it is just like I feel like we shouldn't go for him. I know that, like, especially if he's valued so high, but you know, we should still give it a shot. It's one of those, like, say like 60 mil. If it's more than that, walk away. That's how
No, 60 mil's too much, man. I'm
this.
not gonna lie, yeah. You see, the problem is, yeah, if you're gonna spend 60 million on an 18-year-old unproven guy who is gonna take like maybe 3 years, 4 years for him to develop into the player that we want him to be, then I'd rather spend that 60 million or whatever it is on a certified killer. Yeah, I'd rather go get somebody who's a killer either in the Premier League or somebody who's world class somewhere else to come to the club rather than spending 60 million on an unproven talent. Like, what's the point of that? That's a waste of funds.
No, Buddy Tech. This guy is like, his numbers may not be good, but if you see his ball progression, bro, on the pitch, like especially like
60 million for ball progression is crazy.
bro, like this guy carries the
Bro,
ball.
you see why I have the problem with what you're saying now?
Yeah.
Because we need to find out how much Ryan Cherky's release clause is.
Bro, he's been available for like 20 mil for the last 3 seasons.
Also,
Okay,
isn't he in the
so
last
20
year of his contract this year as well?
I'm not quite sure, but if you're saying it's 20 million, you're gonna spend
plus
60
Leon has to
million.
sell.
You're gonna spend 60 million on an unproven quantity, and then there's 20 million on a guy who's still 21, who can dribble past people, assist people, and score goals.
Yeah, but
Because this is Cherokee's best. This is Cherokee's best season by far, and he's had multiple problems with the club about his behavior and his professionalism. That's why no one's going for Cherokee.
But he's 21, and it's
But
not him. It's not him per se. It's his agents. His agents are a big
It has
problem.
literally been reported that he has been a problem at Leon.
Okay,
Multiple
but
times over
I
the years.
read a tweet from their what?
Balitech, are you bringing in Cherky as the main guy or as a bench guy?
No, as somebody who I would, if I was gonna spend that sort of money, 60 million, I'd rather go and get
Wasn't
Ryan
Cherky
Cherky.
available for like 25 million?
Exactly. We don't want to sign him. We've just got rid of Sancho. Chekri's even like what the reports are. He's more of a problem.
Hey, Courts.
What?
What's about that? You've just got rid of nothing. Calm yourself down about you've got rid of Sancho. Coming back.
His key card rejected.
His key card was rejected.
Well, I don't know. We don't know who or what. All we know is that we're gonna play Leon in the Europa League, and if he has a good performance then, and he has a good performance in both legs, I guarantee you, a lot of you, man, who are saying nah,
No, I won't.
will have a change of
I
heart.
won't because
We
I've
won't be
seen
the
Sancho at this
issue.
club. I've seen Pogba. I've seen all this shit that's gone on with there. Bayern were linked with him in the summer and did not proceed forward with him because of his character problems. I'm like, my stance is the same. I don't care if he's a techie baller. The streets won't forget. This is his first decent season. Cool. He's finally got, I think, seven goals and I think 10 assists in the league or something. Cool. I don't care.
Yeah, if
Because
he's
if he's gonna do what Pogba did,
you would condone what? So you would condone 60 million for Tyler Dibling?
I've never said. Where have I said I'm going to dunk 60 million?
I'm just asking a question. I'm asking a question.
I don't want to sign. I'm going to say I don't want to sign Tyler Dibling, but I don't want to buy Chekri because we've literally said for years that the attitude of these players, the mentality of these players is wrong, and then we're going to bring in a guy who we've known and is known that he's got attitude issues. But that doesn't mean we should sign Tyler Dibling.
Courts, you know how bad the attitude problems have to be for your club to get provisionally relegated and no one make a bid for you and they want to sell you. Do you know that Lyon were technically relegated? They have to sell to stay in League 1 this season.
And no one still wanted to sign him.
And no one went in for him. He was available for 15 mil this summer.
So what's your perspective on Osimhen? Does he have a bad attitude?
Osimhen shit.
Does no one want him?
Osimhen shit.
So he's shit.
You're saying that because you're. But NN's got his anti-Nigerian.
Shit.
I'm gonna defend Osimhen here.
Don't come in the you egg lady. Don't come and defend Osimhen. Have some shame.
What? Wow!
Wait. That's a violation.
Hey, hang on. What are we doing?
I'm not bothered about that.
Boss is like, I need to defend my woman. Boss is like, I need to defend my woman.
Ayo, Courts, did you notice yesterday how Bots only got involved when Dr. NHS was there? How many times has KG had problems? But Mr. Super Bots over here keep on good. There to protect the women like no tomorrow. Have some shame, Bots.
He's like, oh wait, is Doctor in trouble? Oh, let me pull up.
Dun, da, da.
Nah, but Coach, did you not see how he defended? Man said, send Ben. That's the most he did.
No. Not especially not in March. Come on now.
What's March?
How do you say shit like 60 million for Dibling and that's what we should go for? Where do you get that courage from? Explain to me.
Hear this.
Where do you get this courage from?
How much was Mason Mount?
So we're buying.
Yes, but that was a mistake. You can't. No, we can't do this. We can't say we made a mistake. So let's make another. Let's justify a transfer fee on a mistake of a transfer fee.
No, wait. Coach, wait. Bots, let me understand your logic. So you were in a toxic relationship getting punched up, right? And your friends told you, do better. They got you
NHS.
And now, no, bro, are you mad? Now you're going into a different relationship, which is equally toxic. But your friends are telling you beforehand, before you get punched up, don't go there. You're still going there.
But what you're saying is exactly what we do as guys. That's what we do. So he's right.
Yo, I don't go looking for toxic relationships ever.
I just want to say, when you say we do as guys, can you be a bit more specific to yourself?
No.
Like there's a RICO charge that I don't want to be a part of in a situation.
Listen, let me
as a married man. Courts as a married.
Let me explain myself.
You know when man's getting RICO'd at home. You said what?
So I'm also retired from, but don't say like, a bunch of brothers don't go back to the same. That's what I did it before I was in a relationship.
Yeah, okay, that's better. You say what you did.
You know,
That's it.
Yeah, like don't make it a blanket.
and a lot
statement
of
for all
other
of
people
us.
did it. So somehow
No,
Bots
but-
is right. Bots,
but
you
Kanye,
got to be
it's
on my
not a
side right
blanket
now. Don't just
statement.
stand there
Nah,
I'm
laughing.
with you. I'm with you, Kanye. I'm
You
with
guys are isolated.
Kanye, he let you
Don't
say
make it
everything, and he's just got
blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't make this a blanket statement that everyone. No, not everyone does that, bro. Sometimes
Okay.
problems come to us. That's different.
Okay. Let's go around and see how much is an appropriate valuation for Tyler Dibling. Like that's. I haven't heard you quote say.
Bro, are we Southampton fans? Why do we care?
I'd say 35 to 40 million.
35. Wow.
That's what I think he's worth.
Which is what I said. Which is what I said.
Is he better than Garnacho?
This is 2025. Fam.
I don't think he's better than Garnacho.
Bruv, he's
Okay, so
nowhere
Bots.
near the level. Yeah,
But-
like he's a
Bots,
better dribbler
one second,
than
though.
Garnacho, but Garnacho
One
will win
second,
you
one second.
games.
Bots.
Can I ask a question to the panel? How many Southampton games have we watched outside of the 2 times we played them?
None for me.
None for me.
I think I've seen him like 4 times, 4 or 5 times this season.
Maybe against the top 6.
Yeah, maybe what we did a watch along for, like, was it Liverpool start versus Southampton?
But then-
I think.
The thing is, what I'm saying is, if you're looking at what he's done, and we've said we're only seen him against us and against the top 6 sides, well, that's not a true representation, because against us and against the top 6 sides, he's going to naturally have more space in that game, because those top teams aren't going to respect Southampton. So there's naturally going to be more space for him to work in as a defender, because they're going to commit more men
Don't
forward.
you remember? Don't you remember? Onana made Hakim Ziyech look like prime Hakim Ziyech in 2025 with those 2 free kicks.
Hey,
So
man,
any
calm
player
down.
can look
Calm
good
down.
against us.
What does that mean? Calm down.
Any player can look good against us, is what I'm saying, bro. That's not the metric we should go on by saying that.
But there's a reason why Bayern Munich want him, Leipzig want him, even Man City have been like looking at Tyler Dibling, bro. Like
Man City wanted Maguire. Man City wanted Maguire and Alexis Sanchez. How did those transfers work out?
Ronaldo was going to go to Man City before he started crying.
So by that token,
We weren't crying, and then
No, the fact of the matter is,
You're crying, folks.
almost
Listen to
every
this.
single Premier League team wants this guy.
Yeah.
That is pretty much a fact. Yeah, the only thing where we all differ is that price range. That price cannot be 60 million, or else you're getting
What if
rigged.
it was 50? What if it was 50 million?
50 mil is even too much. It's too much. It's too much. I'm not gonna lie. It's too much.
Yo.
Okay then, 40 mil.
Bots, can you check when Leicester got relegated? How much did they sell Madison for? Because that was one of the best players.
Oh, that's a good shout. So let's see.
Yeah, but they had money problems as well. Ever since
Yeah.
the owner passed.
They had money problems, so
they needed to sell.
I think
But they
Madison
don't
was in
need
the
to
last
sell.
year of his contract as well.
40 mil on a 5-year
And that's
contract.
for Madison.
And Madison
that-
was prem proven, multiple seasons.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And this is why Bots doesn't do negotiations. You can tell Bots don't do negotiations. Someone say 100, he'd go no 120.
What's your spots? There you go, I'm going to the markets.
get out of here. Football Power